As a wise song from the 80s once said, a good heart these days is hard to find. And like many hits from the 80s, it's as relevant as ever. We would love nothing more than to see the world populated with good hearts, and subsequently, good people. In this video, we'll share 6 traits that we believe are common to good people. Riki, what makes a good person?
I think I struggle a little bit with the good person bit because that means there are bad people, and I don't actually believe there are good and bad people. I believe that there are well-resourced people and I guess under-resourced people. First up, I think I need to say that.
That's a really compassionate take on it. On the other hand, have you met one of our neighbours? He's a bad man. I'm just kidding.
So I think from that starting point that I think we have the freedom and the resources to be a good person.
Yeah.
And to have the power to do what we ought to do if we're resourced. So
okay.
I don't think that anyone, there's no bad babies, there's no one born bad, but we either have the resources to be everything that we can be, I guess, to be a good person.
Have you seen the film The Omen?
Oh, yes, I have.
Damien was a bad boy. Just saying. They're out there. No, I do like your compassionate take, and I think you're correct. So we should scrap the title of this video, How to Be a Good Person, How to Use Resources to Be Better.
So I think my first trait is that they have a real faith in humanity, and they have a faith that people can be amazing. They see the best in people.
That's lovely. So believing in others, I guess.
Yeah.
And believing that we can move forward together.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with that one. I think that does make you a better person. It's better than not believing that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with good person just because everyone knows what I mean.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you said earlier.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that is a trait of a good person, that we have faith in humanity and in each other, and that we can talk and we can work it out and we can move somewhere better than where we are right now.
Yeah. And there's always room for growth.
Yeah.
So what about you, Kiwi? What do you think makes a good person?
A good person wants to empower others. So life is the movement of energy. It's a transfer of energy. Stuff's moving around.
Yeah.
A good person wants you to have a piece of that. A good person doesn't want to hoard it all for themselves. They don't want to just be the centre of attention all the time. They don't care about being better than other people. They don't need to get their self-esteem by squashing someone else's head down. You can get taller by raising yourself or by pushing others down. It's a relative thing. Good person wants to raise everybody, regardless of whether it makes them look smaller. But they're happy for other people to go on and be bigger and better. Yeah,
sort of sharing power and a sense of collaboration rather than competition. They're always wanting to see other people succeed.
Absolutely. Yeah, and even in a small social situation, they want to empower you by giving you a compliment, for example, and helping you feel better about yourself in whatever way. They want to teach you something. They don't want to withhold information from you. If you're in a BJJ class and you're pulling off a sub on someone and they ask you a question, you don't say to them, oh, well, you work it out for yourself. You share knowledge with them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it.
So let's empower each other, and that'll make us all better people, right?
Yeah.
If other people are feeling empowered, hopefully they'll pass that spirit on to other people and want to lift everybody. Yeah. And our baseline as human beings is much higher than what it is now because we've all lifted each other.
It's beautiful.
Thanks, Riki. Give us your next one.
My next one would have to be deep empathy. So, or even just empathy. I've always loved the idea of listening with your ears, but hearing with your heart. And those people that really do that or try to do that is really beautiful. Have that, be on the receiving end of that, have someone really truly try to seek to understand and seek to find out, what is it exactly that you're feeling? And I think that's really important.
That sentence, seek to understand, is so important. If we did that at every single level of life, from understanding your child, understanding each other in a relationship, to understanding your political enemies, I don't think the world would look like what it does right now.
Yeah.
Seek to understand. That deep empathy, I agree with that 100%. And that is something that we can all have. And it is what makes human connection work. When we can really feel what another person's doing. And the seeking to understand, just knowing that someone's trying to understand you, and even if they don't, and if they can try to feel you, especially in the time of grief. Sometimes there's nothing a person can do other than sit there.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're sitting there and seeking to understand and to feel what you're feeling makes all the difference.
Yeah, because you could probably never, 100% claim to understand someone, but if you're always from that position of that being a learner and seeking to find out more, then I think that's great.
Yeah, lovely.
So hit me with your next one, Kiwi.
A good person acts in good faith. So we can be real conniving little creatures, us humans. We can do things behind each other's backs. We can have ulterior motives. We're dishonest. We do all sorts of things to gain an advantage. A good person, in most circumstances, acts in good faith. Sure, you want the best deal for yourself, but you don't have to screw someone else over to get that. We can be transparent with one another. We can let someone know that, look, this is how it is, and they may say, okay, I don't agree with that, and at least you've got an honest dialogue, and you can talk about it and negotiate, come to a compromise. But when people are acting suspiciously and not being honest with one another, especially in interpersonal relationships, people can manipulate one another rather than just be honest and say what they're trying to get and what they want, what their needs are. So a good person will act in good faith, even if it's a little bit costly. So sometimes we just need to be honest and say, look, this is how I'm feeling, rather than hide that and try to manipulate a situation so you can avoid that feeling. But that's really important to me, acting in good faith, especially if it's an enemy that you're dealing with or some sort of opposition. You're dealing with your ex-partner, for example, in divorce proceedings, and you've got kids involved. I've seen situations where people don't act in good faith. It's got nothing to do with the children. It's got nothing to do with what's fair. It's got everything to do with their ego, not wanting someone else to win and just manipulating them, being abusive or whatever, just making things difficult because they didn't get their way. A good person doesn't do that. A good person acts in good faith. Yeah,
even when they don't want to. Or don't feel like it, sort of thing. Yeah.
And the biggest cost is your ego. It hurts. It's like, I don't want to give this up. But come on, if we're being decent people, we'll say, okay, this is what's fair. You had them this day. I'll pay for this. Whatever it is. Just act in good faith. We've all got a sense of balance. That's a good human has that. But we talk about all the senses that a human has. Something that we don't talk about is a sense of fairness, a sense of balance. And we do have that. Otherwise, there'd be no such idea as justice. We have that because humans have an idea of what's fair.
Yeah, like an inner compass. Sort of thing. A fairness compass and a true compass. Yeah, what's true and what's right.
Exactly. Yeah. So a good person will act in good faith and not manipulate anything, and they'll answer their inner compass.
I like it.
All right. Riki, what's your last one?
Taking personal responsibility and owning our own feelings and actions and knowing that pretty much everything is our responsibility, our own. We choose everything pretty much. And I think that's an important thing to remember and to know. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I want to tie this back to your empathy point though. It's important that while an individual is in control of their actions, and it's really important to accept personal responsibility, it's also important for the outsiders to understand what they've gone through. So when there's a balance there, when someone's completely responsible for everything and the outside knows what they've gone through and are empathic to that, then we've got fireworks. Things can work from there and we can build each other. So in other words, everyone's coming to the table together. So I think that works for society really well. Take personal responsibility while other people have empathy for you. We can hear each other's stories without being victims, and we can continue to work.
Kiwi, give us your last one.
A good person wants you to walk your path and not theirs. This is really, really difficult. Because we know everything, right? We've worked it all out. Just do what I did. It's so easy for me. Why can't you do it? And you're forgetting that everybody's different. Everybody's got different interests, born into different circumstances, has a different worldview to you. But for some reason, you've got this one-size-fits-all vision for how the world works. And I think every parent has gone through this at some point. I remember Riki once said to me, no husband of mine's using firelighters. And that's exactly how she said it too. But that was your path, Riki, not mine. I like to take the easy road. None of this, scout stuff. Then you relented. You now use firelighters.
Yeah, the fire starters, like the little cubes.
Yeah. That caused quite a rift in our relationship. But my point is that a good person wouldn't do what Riki did. A good person wants you to walk your path and be your natural animal, whatever it is.
Yeah, and trust that each individual is the expert in their own life and that they've got the answers for what they need to do and what to do.
Yeah, which can be really, really nerve-wracking for a parent. Absolutely. I'm not saying any of this is easy. None of these 6 traits are easy to have. Yeah. So they're our 6 starter tips on how to be a good person. Now, we'd love to know what you think makes a good person. We'd love to know if you think a good person even exists, if a bad person exists. Give us your thoughts, comment down below. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Riki, any closing remarks?
No, you've summed it up beautifully.
Thanks, Riki. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, please be gentle with this heart of mine.